If you're a young man like me who's ever taken advice from Andrew Tate on how to get rich, how to become an alpha male, or how to get the woman of your dreams, you may want to think again before implementing his advice into your personal life. Let's uncover the truth. There is some massive breaking news about Andrew Tate, who has become one of the most influential online personalities, specifically for young men across the world. So let's kick off this video with a brief introduction from Tucker Carlson.
So why don't they want you to hear from Andrew Tate? They really think he's a worse influence on the youth than, say, Cardi B. Tell us how. They're telling us he's a criminal. Okay. Has he been charged? Who are the victims? What are their names?
Yes, in fact, he has been charged. Again, just this report from BBC on June 20th, 2023 today states that Andrew Tate has been charged in Romania with rape, human trafficking, and forming an organized crime group to sexually exploit women. His brother Tristan and two associates also face charges. All have denied the allegations. And so let's quickly hear what Andrew Tate thinks should be the maximum punishment for rapists.
And I don't hate women. I think rape is disgusting. I would take a stronger stance on rape than the British government. I think these people should face the death penalty.
So Andrew Tate, according to his own words, should face the death penalty if he is convicted. Now, he is innocent until proven guilty. That's how the courts work. But let's read through this indictment because it's pretty ugly and pretty heinous. Okay, quote, the indictment deposited with the Bucharest court, sorry, I got mixed up there, says that the four defendants formed an organized criminal group in 2021 to commit human trafficking in Romania, but also in other countries, including the US and the UK. Okay, that is an international trafficking ring. So who were the victims, which Tucker Carlson asked? Well, it says there are 7 alleged victims who say they were recruited by the Tate brothers through false promises of love and marriage. By the way, speaking of marriage, let's hear what Andrew Tate has to say about marriage. Click play.
I think.
Yeah. So the problem is that there's zero advantage to marriage in the Western world for a man. There is zero statistical advantage. If you use your mind, if you use your head instead of your heart, and you look at the advantages to getting married, there are absolutely and utterly none. Because this new idea of new age feminism just basically destroys all men in the idea or in the event of her leaving. And it's very common that women leave, right? Let's stop the man versus woman attack, et cetera, et cetera. Life's difficult for everybody. We all have different challenges, different things to go through. But if a woman marries a man and it goes wrong, she has emotional heartbreak. Fine. But if a man marries a woman and it goes wrong, he has emotional heartbreak. Plus, everything he has ever worked for is ripped out from underneath him. And he has to give that chick money forever.
In some places, you don't even have to be married.
Exactly.
That's why the men don't want to live with the women either.
That's right. So when you make these rules and these laws, right, under the guise of feminism and equality, all this garbage, all you're doing is scaring men away from commitment.
So no advantages to marriage, according to Andrew Tate. It's merely a transactional relationship, even though there are women who make more money than men in a lot of instances. So unfortunately for these victims who were lured in by marriage, which by the way, Andrew Tate doesn't believe in, let's keep reading what happened to them when they got lured into that house. The alleged victims were later taken into buildings in Romania where they were intimidated, placed under constant surveillance and control, and forced into debt, according to a statement from Romanian prosecutors. The defendants allegedly then forced the women to take part in pornography, which was later shared on social media. One defendant is accused of raping a woman twice in March of 2022, the statement adds. Okay, guys, so in other words, Andrew Tate, who shows off pictures of him with all of these beautiful women and models and shows off the big houses, allegedly was forcing these women into these houses by luring them in with money and wealth, then was forcing them into debt, and then was saying, hey, if you want to get out of this debt and you want me to pay off your debt, you're going to need to perform these pornographic acts, and then I'm going to post them on social media, exploit you for those profits, and then use those images and videos to lure in more female victims. That's what was going on there. So why I said you should not maybe take advice from this man on how to get women, how to get rich, because look at what he does to get women and look at what he does to acquire his wealth. There are ethical ways to do it, and then there are this, which is illegal, which is trafficking, which is could be kidnapping by inveiglement, and could be you're just holding women hostage and forcing them to perform sexually explicit acts against their will. Okay, guys, and let's keep reading, because Andrew Tate, as we know, is a man who says that all men should take accountability for their actions. Let's give that a watch.
It's not your fault you touched that kid, you were born that way. Not your fault you're fat, you were born that way. Not your fault you're a school shooter, you were born that way. This is why I have a problem with psychologists. Every single time you ask them anything, it's not your fault, it's something else's fault, it's someone else's fault, and I don't accept that. I accept absolute and utter ruthless personal accountability. Absolutely everything is my fault. Every action I undertake is completely my fault. If I do something wrong, it is my fault and I should be punished for it, me. And that should be implied on every single other man on the planet. And the second we start doing that, dumb shit might stop.
Okay, and let's see if Andrew Tate takes any accountability for these accusations. And it reads, quote, "The media team for the Tate brothers said, while this news is undoubtedly predictable, we embrace the opportunity it presents to demonstrate their innocence and vindicate their reputation." Okay, so no accountability, denying the allegations, and basically accusing all 7 victims of being liars. And guys, this is Andrew Tate, the guy who was originally kicked off of Twitter for saying, quote, women should bear some responsibility, end quote, for being sexually assaulted. The reason I'm making this video is not to break the news about Andrew Tate's new arrest, but it is to ask the people watching this who have maybe fallen under the guise and under the spell of the Andrew Tate of wanting to become more manly, wanting to get women, wanting to be able to have the courage to talk to women, and wanting to not feel emasculated. This is the man you're taking advice from. You may not have ever met him in real life. Most of you haven't. And does it change your mind when you find out that the guy who you've maybe been paying, the guy you've been emotionally investing in, the guy you've been dedicating your time and energy to consuming his content, turns out to be a guy who is just charged with running an international sex trafficking ring, rape, as well as forming a criminal organization with his business associates? Not a guy I would take advice from, and really I think he should be barred and disqualified from ever being able to post about giving advice to young men ever again.